Hey everybody, it's Christy. Thank you for tuning in to Semi-Crafty Librarian today, where we make crafts with stuff that you can find around our house. So today we are making a pom-pom wreath or wall decoration because I love making pom-poms. I think they're so cute and fun and really super easy to make. So you obviously need some yarn for this project, some sort of cardboard or foam core board, something that you're going to use for your wreath or the backing to glue your pom poms on. Pair of scissors, some glue. Today I'm using a glue gun. I just lost my glue stick out of there. Um, but you could use some craft glue too if you have craft glue. Um, Maybe if you want, you don't have to, but if you wanted a piece of like felt or some sort of other material that you cover your cardboard or your form cord or whatever base you're using, just for a more polished look. The front side will obviously be covered. It would be the back side that would be showing. So you can see with this example, I cut out the shape and the size that I wanted, and then I went ahead and strung the hanging piece of the yarn before I started gluing on the pom-poms. With this one, and I didn't cover it with anything. With this disc, I covered the cardboard in the white felt, just so the back would look a little more finished. If you didn't want to do a wreath with a hole, you could just simply use a round circle like that, and I think that would look really cute. So I've got an assortment of pom-poms made here, but let me go over pom-pom making with you real quick. Pom-poms are super easy to make. There are lots of different ways to make them. You could use a piece of cardboard, wrap your yarn around the cardboard. You can buy a pom-pom maker. This is the way that I think it's easiest to make them, and depending on how big you want your pom-pom will determine how many fingers that you use to wrap your yarn around. So with this color, actually, let's see, do I want to make this color? Um, Maybe I'll make another pink one. Oh, and one other thing about yarn and pom-poms, the thicker weight your yarn is, so you see this yarn, I don't know if you can actually see this, but so you can see the different weight of the yarn. You've got this thick stuff right here, and then you've got a little bit of thinner yarn right here. I think the thicker yarn makes better pom-poms, but use what you have around the house. Okay, so you take your yarn. I think I'll make a bigger size pink one. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around 4 fingers and keep wrapping. The more yarn you wrap, the thicker and fluffier your pom-pom will be. So I'm going to just keep wrapping. And I didn't mean to throw that off the table at Jessica, who's manning the camera, but she just picked it up for me. So thank you, Jessica. All right, I'm going to keep wrapping. And so as you wrap, you're going to notice your fingers start to get squashed together. So you have to kind of consciously remember to keep them spread out to maintain a bigger size pom-pom. And I wasn't doing that. I got distracted with rolling my yarn off the table. But anyways, okay, so that should be good. So you're going to trim your yarn right there. And then you're going to cut a piece off. This is the way I do it. Again, there are so many different ways to make a pom-pom. You guys just use the way that works for you. This is the way that works for me. You just tie it in a knot, wrap that piece of yarn around basically in the half of your loops there. And you really need to get your knot tight. So this part is kind of important because you want it to have a nice tight knot. Okay, and so then you've got your loops here that you're going to cut. So take your scissors and you're just going to cut through your loops like so. I'm going to cut this side.
And Dollar Tree has yarn now.
Oh, Jessica says Dollar Tree has yarn now. That is exciting. Okay, so once you trim your loops, and you might notice that you miss a couple loops, you can go back and trim them again. You end up with something that looks a little scraggly. Okay, so, you know, I don't know if anybody out there has been watching Semi-Crafty Librarian for a while, You might remember last summer, I think, I made some pom-poms to make a little ice cream cone garland. And so this is how new to crafting I was. Like one, I just noticed I missed all of these loops, but I didn't know you were supposed to like trim out the yarn. So I made an entire craft with a bunch of scraggly looking pom poms. So, what you need to do after you cut those loops is trim it so that you get a nice, sort of concentric looking, well trimmed pom pom. So, I kind of just flatten it out and trim around the edges. It's kind of like trimming your hair. You want to be real careful that you don't get too crazy and end up trimming too much, but really what you're looking for is a nice, round, even pom pom. And sometimes it takes me a little bit to do this. You kind of fluff it out a little bit as you're trimming just to make sure that it's even. There's a little bit more that I need to do. The shorter that you trim the yarn, I noticed like it looks better. Like it's more fluffy looking, but you don't always want to trim that much off depending on what size you want your pom pom. So definitely takes a little patience, a little time. So we'll leave that one like that. But let me take this yellow one that I made last summer that was like looked like the top of my ice cream for my ice cream cone. And let's trim it. I'm like slightly embarrassed that I didn't know that you're supposed to trim your pom poms when you made them. But you learn as you go, right? So now I know you have to take your scissors and trim out the pom pom so it looks better. I so as I said last summer, I made this kind of fun garland out of pom poms, and it was like the ice cream basically, and then I attached it to a paper cone and strung them together. But I am repurposing those pom poms just to show you another example of a pom-pom wreath or wall hanging that you can make. So I used rainbow colors last summer. Oh my God, so that is really sad looking. Okay, so I'm just going to keep trimming. I know you've probably seen enough trimming of the pom-poms, but let me just, you know what was really helpful is to have sharp scissors. My scissors are not super sharp, so it's taking me a little longer. And you can kind of see like I'm losing some strands here, and that's because that middle string, I must not have tied it tight enough when I had made it. So just trimming, 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 trimming. Okay, so once you get all your pom-poms trimmed the way that you want them to look, I'm going to pull out some of my other rainbow colors here. Then what you're going to do is with your glue, you're going to glue them on your base, right? So I made this round wreath shaped one. So I kind of like to just randomly put my pom-poms down. So I kind of have a general idea, and look how good this one turned out, where I want everything situated, because you kind of want to space them a little bit. So you've got different colors next to each other. And, you know, these are the colors that I had available, but obviously you can use certainly whatever colors that you like. So this big one right here, maybe we swap that out like that and put this lovely dark purple right there. Okay, so once you kind of have a rough idea of your placement, then that's when you're going to start gluing. So you're just going to pick up your pom-pom and put the glue on your base, stick your pom-pom on top of the glue. If you're not using hot glue, of course, this is going to take little bit longer to do and certainly longer for the glue to dry your pom pom on securely. So once you get it all glued, you'll probably just have to leave it sit for a while. And I've done an assortment of sizes here. So you kind of need some big size pom poms, some medium size, some smaller size. And once you get this glue going, it's going to start sticking to your fingers. And then you're going to have to be careful because it's going to stick to the other little pieces of your pom pom. So I think that I've lost my other glue stick, but you sort of get the gist of this. It might be on the floor somewhere, but that's all right. So you keep gluing. So that's what this one will end up looking like once it's all glued. But say you just want a round one, and I'll use my rainbow colors from last summer here. And maybe you want an actual, let's see, rainbow color pattern. And you could do something like this. Of course, please envision these pom-poms trimmed out, but you could do that. Maybe you just want to do something like this. This would look cute too. We'll swap that big one out there like that. So these are bigger pom-poms. That would look cute. Then you would hang it up like that. Anyways, pom-poms are fun and easy. It's a craft that you can do with your kiddos or just do for yourself with whatever colors that you'd like. So I hope that you guys give this craft a try with your leftover yarn. Let me bring this one back over. Anyways, that's how it turns out. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. It's Tuesday, so everybody have a good evening, and I will look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday at 4 o'clock, for another Semi-Crafty Librarian. So until then, have a great week. Bye.